Okay. Will you introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is John Porter. I've lived in the area all my life. I was born and raised at Lewis. My maternal grandfather, his name was Lewis, started that community in I think about 1908. I lived there until 1982 when I had begun managing the Dolores Water Conservancy District, and that's when I moved to Cortez. And so I've been here in the town since 1982.
And why are you in Cortez?
Well, I was manager of the Dolores Water Conservancy District and moved off of the farm to Cortez, and as I retired, I just stayed here.
What do you love about Cortez?
Well, you know, certainly the place where you're raised, you go to school, and where your roots are, you build a love for it. Beyond that, Cortez is I think, a friendly place. It's a place where you could, in the wintertime, you can go have a picnic on the desert, and one day and the next day you can go skiing. It has a varied environment, varied amenities for recreation and sightseeing, and it's home.
Do you feel attached to Cortez?
Yes.
What makes you feel connected about this community?
I think the same reasons that you like Cortez is because you were born and raised in the community, you went to school here. I guess the part I don't, that is so different is I used to know everybody when I walked down the street of Cortez, and I don't anymore. I can go to, if you go to one of the local stores, you might see somebody you know, but if you go to Walmart, you don't see anybody you know. So that's a part I miss about it. But I certainly feel connected to Cortez. I think it's had a good city government. The town has progressed, does lots of things right. I don't have any complaints about it at all. It's progressed very well, I think.
What would you miss in Cortez if it wasn't here?
Oh, you know, you go over to Denver and other big communities, and even in Durango, things seem like they're a lot faster paced. People seem more stressed, but I sure like what I view as an easygoing atmosphere, friendly atmosphere. And certainly you'd miss the businesses you know, the business owners you know, that you can trust, you know you can deal with them, you know if the products they sell aren't what you thought, well, you can get something done about it.
As we look toward the future, what would you like to see improved in Cortez?
I'm not sure improved is the word. I think Cortez has done a good job of working with the communities around it, whether it be the Utes or the rural area or the other municipalities, the school districts, and I'd certainly like to see that continued. I'd hate to see the city of Cortez kind of go off on their own and ignore what really makes us a community, and I don't fear that happening. Improvements, I'm satisfied.
When you leave Cortez and come home, what is it that you most look forward to coming home to?
Well, what I don't look forward to is usually when I come home, my yard needs watered, and I need to get busy cleaning things up. But I don't, yeah, I think it's like anybody. When you come home, you're home, you're comfortable, you walk in the house, you know where everything is, and you can settle down and relax, and you're just home.
What's the biggest challenge that you think Cortez faces?
I think two things. Um, Cortez and our community, I fear the loss of air service. Uh, we're one of only 2 or maybe 3 airports in Colorado that are subsidized by the federal government. And as they begin to look at their budgets and cut back, I'm not sure whether Cortez and this community can sustain what's needed to keep air service without that subsidy. And I think that's real important for us. The other thing that I'm somewhat, and that's really not anything that Cortez itself can do anything about, but we know we have water for the future because Dolores Project is well taken care of. Cortez is well taken care of because of the Dolores Project, but I think we have some challenges when it comes to power. We don't know how to handle a power shortage. We know how to handle a water shortage, but we don't know how to handle a power shortage. And if national interests are such that they feel that, for instance, close down all the coal-fired power plants because of carbon dioxide going into the air, or CO2, we would really not only be hit in the pocketbook, but we would be on the short end of not enough power. And that's not just a Cortez problem, that's a statewide problem, a west-wide problem.
What's your greatest wish for Cortez?
I guess my greatest wish for Cortez is not outgrow the community. Any community has to continue to grow. You're either growing or you're not growing, and not growing is much worse than growing. Too much growth, too quick, is tough to manage, is tough on a community. I think Cortez has had a good, steady growth. You don't see the hips and the valleys that you do in some other communities. So I hope we continue to grow and not outgrow ourselves, not become an urban community like some you see on the eastern slope.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I'd like to live here another 100 years. Now, I like Cortez, always have, always felt proud to be a resident of this county and this town, and pretty well satisfied with things that are happening, have happened.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.